Jalen is 23 years old, and he just got his first grown-up paycheck from a real job. It is the biggest deposit he has ever seen in his life, more money than he ever made in high school or college combined. He feels rich for about 48 hours, and then reality hits him hard. The bills do not care that he just got paid, and the rent does not care either. A few nights out with friends happen, because he earned it after all. By Monday morning, his bank balance is back down to double digits right where it started. Jalen grew up hearing one phrase more than any other in his house. He heard, "We just don't have it right now." He swore to himself that he would be different when he grew up. But looking at his bank account right now, he realizes that he has accidentally built a life that looks exactly like the one he grew up in. He is scared of one thing more than being broke today. He is scared of waking up at 35 years old with nothing to show for 15 years of hard work. So Jalen makes a decision that nobody claps for and nobody celebrates. He decides to play a 5-year game that everyone else around him is ignoring completely. This is case file 602. I am going to show you what it looks like when a 23-year-old outsmarts a system that was designed to keep him broke. This is Marcus Jones, the finance detective. I found this case while I was studying what I call wealth velocity in 20-somethings who are just starting out. Most young professionals try to get rich in 6 months, and they end up broke for 6 years as a result. Jalen did the opposite of that. He used a boring 5-year contract with himself to build a foundation that most people do not achieve until their 50s. He did not hit the lottery, nor did he suddenly get lucky. He used old-fashioned discipline to multiply his survival clock. Let me show you how he turned an entry-level salary into $50,000 of real options. In 2020, Jalen's financial picture looked exactly like what you would expect from someone his age. He had no savings, thin credit, and a social media feed that felt like one long commercial telling him what he should buy every day. He realized that if he followed his friends down the same path, he would end up with a high-status lifestyle and a low-status net worth at the end. He needed a weapon to fight that trend. He called it the 5-year credit stack. The rules were simple but brutally hard to execute. Save $10,000 a year, build 4 strong lines of credit, and never miss a single payment on anything, not ever. That was the standard he held himself to. In year 1, Jalen needed to prove to himself that he could actually do this. The first rule of the 5-year credit stack was to save $10,000 a year. $833 a month times 12 months gets you there. He opened a savings account at a completely different bank, one that he did not have an app for on his phone. He set up an automatic transfer of $833 every single month. If he did not see the money in his main account, he could not spend it on anything. He picked one credit card to use, and he did not use it for everything. He used it for gas and groceries only, and then he paid it off every Friday without fail. By the end of year 1, he had nearly $10,000 saved up. On the outside, he looked exactly the same as before. But on paper, he was a completely different man financially. In years 2 and 3, he faced what I call the comfort test. This is where the detective work gets really interesting. In year 2, Jalen's friends started leveling up their lives. As their pay increased, they bought new cars and better apartments. The pressure to treat himself as well was a constant feeling. Jalen created a rule for himself. If it broke his 5-year plan, it was not a reward at all, just a delay of his freedom. In year 3, the banks started noticing him for the first time. His credit score was climbing higher, and they sent him platinum offers with high limits in the mail. Most people see a higher credit limit as permission to buy a bigger TV or fancier things. But Jalen saw it as a safety net that he hoped he would never have to use. He stayed in his modest apartment, and he kept the stack growing strong. By the end of year 3, he hit the major milestone of $30,000 in cash savings. If you are in your 20s right now and you feel like you are the only one not leveling up your lifestyle, drop a comment below. I want to know if you are feeling the pressure to look rich or the drive to actually be wealthy underneath. In years 4 and 5, Jalen shifted his strategy. He was no longer just a saver. He had become an investor. He took his extra savings and started putting money into a boring index fund that tracked the whole market. He was not gambling on moonshots and crypto dreams. He was buying the entire market slowly and deliberately. To build depth into his credit history, he opened a 4th line of credit. In year 5, Jalen turned 28 years old and his company offered him a regional manager position in a different city. It came with a relocation bonus and a significant raise. Normally, a 28-year-old would use that bonus as a down payment on a luxury car to show off. But Jalen used the standard of certainty framework instead. Between his $50,000 in savings and his $15,000 in investments, he realized he did not actually need the job for the money anymore. He wanted it for the experience and the growth. He negotiated the contract from a position of real power. Most 28-year-olds walk into that room grateful just to be chosen. Jalen walked in with options. That is the difference 5 years of discipline buys you. Now let me explain how Jalen managed to outperform people who were making twice his salary the whole time. The first reason was the pay yourself first autopilot. By removing the $833 before it ever hit his checking account, he forced his lifestyle to adapt to whatever was left over. The second reason was utilization mastery. By keeping his credit card usage under 10% of the limit, his score soared higher without him ever carrying a balance month to month. The third reason was the delayed gratification premium. He traded 5 years of average living for 40 years of exceptional options down the road. Today, Jalen is 30 years old, and most people his age are just starting to get serious about their finances. They are looking at a mountain of debt and wondering where the last decade went in their lives. But Jalen is looking at $50,000 in liquidity and 5 years of perfect credit history and a growing investment portfolio that works for him. He has what I call walk-away money in his pocket. He has business startup money ready to go. He has options that other people do not have. Here is your detective task for this week based on his case. I want you to calculate your own automatic transfer number. If you could only save $100 a month to start, then start right there. The goal is not the $50,000 at the end. The goal is the contract with yourself that you actually keep. Can you commit to a 5-year game while everyone else around you is playing for the weekend every week? There are no miracles required for this shift. Only a system that you implement that works. And remember this, the math never lies. If you are 20-something and you are tired of starting over every Monday, drop it in the comments. I want to know where you are in the game. I am Marcus Jones, the Finance Detective. This has been Case File 602. If this case changed the way you think about wealth, share it with someone who needs to hear it. The more people in the room, the stronger the strategy. Run the numbers, follow the money trail, one clue at a time.